of when the rain, when the sky does not rain, when the sky does not rain water, when the sky does not bring rain, definitely rains won't. Why does the sky rains warm in a state of water? Why the earth is dry? At the moment, when we hear this, we better hear another thing in state. When we look at ourselves, at this dynamic world, the sky has stand to shelter us. Yet the earth has grown a little hot. Send the wind on a fluffy water. I want you to see your hope deep down the sea. TED organizers, my fellow TED speakers, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Shakur, the motivational and the inspirational speaker. I'm coming to you from the capital city of Sudan, the beautiful confluence of the two Niles, Khartoum. And in this very good moment, I wanted to show you a story of a little skinny kid who growing up between farms, forests, trees, and bones. And instead of listening and hearing this very natural sound, hearing and listening to the sounds of weapons, the sounds that never have hope at all, sounds that does not bring hope out of everybody, but bring fear, a sound that doesn't have anything. On that Sunday, 2003, the sky has given bomb, and people were frightened. I remember that skinny kid rumbled his head down, the back is aching, and the mind stopped thinking. Why stories being told to so many of us? Because so many of us gone through tough times. Dropping out of your school unreasonably, it is a very big job. What I mean, there are so many times to surrender. There are so many times to give up on your things. But also there are some times to go on. Why I ask a question of what will happen if they ask you not to be who you are? What will happen if they ask you not to be the one you want to be? The only one thing come back again is surrender. Why we surrender? When we come to talk about ourselves, when we are down, rumbling our heads, looking at the ground, our back is aching, and our hands were back cuffed, we need to get out and uncuff ourselves. When you come to the situation of self-desertification, you feel you are empty. You feel you worth nothing. You feel useless and nothingness. But I come to tell you, no, that is not exactly who you're supposed to be. That it's another image. It is that negative image. But let's come ahead again and see. I have had no opportunity to be at school. Unlike my peers, the people in the same age. But that threatened the future of mine. I said, no, that's not. Now the entire village is unseen. Life turned into ashes. But luckily, a part of my family in the White Nile Corps. That was the starting point of my new life in Rabak city. In 2005, the first time I have seen Russia, I have seen Zalat. First time to see people speak the same but in a different manner. But I said, no, it's a time to start a new kind of person who will come down over and talk to you in TED. I am not fond of telling stories because I'm definitely sure your stories are quite inspiring than mine. But that thing comes to me to tell who am I and what am I gonna be. We Sudanese know. I was sent to wrong school to study a subject that I don't really want. Now, being to Sudan University studying Faculty of Engineering Electricity was not my own passion. But a little passion in me told me, you got to be a speaker. I was dreaming to be a speaker. Before I speak everything, I dreamed to be a speaker, somebody talk to the public everywhere. I have become a speaker in East Africa, the 40 countries. And yet, sending the message around the world, I believe that we are all have passion to move on. Why we have self-desertification? Because we believe that we are not. Otherwise, yes, we are. Now let's see another thing. What will happen when you lose hope? You remain a salad. You remain someone who does not move, does not go, does not do anything. I was salad. I lost hope and I gave up myself. But it is time to think again in another way. I have been knocking on those closed doors for so long that let me lose time, age, resources, definitely money as well. Now that was another time knocking on those very closed doors. But let's see the difference here. Somebody else said, when the doors of happiness closes, another open. But we keep looking at those closed doors that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Please ask yourself, are there some ways are open other than those knocked, closed doors? Anybody who's knocking on the closed doors will remain. Knocking on those doors will never open. Look at the other doors open for you in a state of knocking on those closed doors. Other than being public speaker, they said you can't be public speaker. I have become. And that time, moving from Rabak to Khartoum city was very difficult. Because my professor said, we cannot change your profession from engineering to arts. But I said, okay. As I have come into the university without invitation, I gotta get out without invitation as well. I've got out, lived in the 13th Street. Walking on myself every day and night. When I say living in 13th Street, don't imagine I got an apartment. It was a shelter. It was a shelter under cartoons that given to me by a very fantastic gentleman who said you can live under this building which is incomplete. Going to Arabic market every day on food from 13. I was pretending sportman, I'm jogging every day. Then I have determined to write a book to tell not my story. No. The book doesn't have to tell my story, but the book, the human inspiration, has to tell a story of people like mine who got now mic to talk. People like me who have no opportunity on Facebook, on WhatsApp. People who have never met people to talk to them and tell them their story. I want to tell their story in that human inspiration. And that book was written through tough times. Those times, I have heard somebody was talking about Bush and Fatah. That time, Fatah was the delicious food to be found. next meal, not the first meal. I mean, at the time, that's quite. Now let's come again. Why I say this, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a very big thing happen into my life. But that will not be different than the other ones. Because you and I can make everything. Because somebody said, one man power can do nothing, but our all power can do everything. I have seen who can I cooperate with. There are two kind of friends. The friend who waits you to be successful to say congratulations. But the other friend, the friend who has a success on your hand. My brother and my friend there, who is not here, has given me an opportunity to stay home in Al-Azhar, where I feel home. His sister was mine. His mother was mine. It is the place where I can go to the kitchen. I have never missed my family. It is not because I am not emotional, but because I got someone who welcomed. And that's the true tale of Sudanese people. And that's the true tale of who we are. Then I shed a new person on myself by bringing a chapter of my book, and that chapter called Triple H. I want to ask people, what's Triple H? Anybody here knows what Triple H is? Don't tell me that one who's boxing in the WWE. No, that's not actually. Now, Triple H is the first chapter of the human inspiration. I started this chapter in Lekneh in Ethiopia because I was inspired by the confluence of the Niles in the Khartoum. We call it Mugran, and the same name right now. Please give it a hard clap, please. I said I live in a city has a confluence God never given to any city in the world. From where does this inspiration come? It comes from right there. Then I said, let me see what is the source of this confluence. I traveled to Ethiopia, Lake Tana, started writing the chapter in the shore of Lake Tana. Bring it back to Khartoum, then I travel again to Lake Victoria in Uganda, track the other source of the Blue Nile. Because the White Nile is already coming from the Uganda, and the White Nile and the Blue Nile coming from Ethiopia. Bringing all these inspiration back to Khartoum, then I've started this Triple H. Now I will tell you what does it mean Triple H. The Triple H is, an acronym says, have a home of hope. Don't build a home of stone or bricks or mountains. Build a home of hope. If you have a home of hope, you can live. If I ask you to live in this house, nobody could live. This is the house that I lived in Malaysia, in a certain street. This was the house I was living there. But I have started to build that home, bringing the Triple H together with the first H. Because half is possessed. Anybody has something, must be proud of it. Let me start from the West Sudan, the place where I come from. We have a very fantastic proverb. I hope you know it. It says, if I have a little thing better than somebody else who has a big thing, that's in our local language says, Am salamboiti walet kidikainas. I hope you understand this meaning. It means that if I have a small thing and I own it, it's better than someone else has a bigger thing and I can't own it. I don't believe in al-mabtarhabu jaddu hujar. I don't believe in that. What? No. Don't jaddu hujar. Push him to go up. Yeah, get him help. Please, do that. The next H is, this is half and that hope. You will tell me what the hope is black. Because that Sunday, when the sky started rain bomb on us, it was midday, but it was midnight. People have seen the stars of the midday. Well, that's one time people saw People have said you guy. You understand that one, right? So now let's see. The other H is have a home of hope. But now, this is the house I live in it at the moment. But this hope, have a home of hope, is the theory I started to develop from Uganda to Ethiopia to Khartoum. One of the very inspirational things is that, because this is the theory of inspiration. What's inspiration? There is something called self-motivated person and de-self-motivated person. The self-motivated person, the person who always believes within, unleash the power they have, and they go further. So what happened else there? After I have written this, then I started to look at my positive sides. The time I traveled to another country of Africa, to Kenya, I met a girl, her name is Ab from America. She said to me, do you know something called AYC, African Youth Commission? I know. It's a representation of 55 countries. And then I go there, nominated to represent the country of mine, Sudan, throughout the 55 African countries. And right now, Commissioner for Peace and Security for the entire continent. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, there is something important here I want to invite you. I want to invite you to be a person of yourself, to be optimistic. Yet we have another proverb from the East Sudan says about optimism. That's what somebody also talked about Tambur. Said this in the Tambur song said, المتشائم دائما يشوف العصفور قراب. That's exactly how it works. So he said التفاؤل يريح الأعصاب والمتفائل العصفور بيشوفه قراب. Do not look at that way. Look at everything from a different side in the life. The last one is, when there was something called International United Nations Youth Campaign Employment, my own country was missed. But I plan to travel around the continent to bring this to our country. Our project will start in 2020, 2030, and we will create 40,000 jobs for Sudanese youth. Let's give ourselves hope. Sudanese are distinguished.